Hello. I have returned. Let us grind some. $362,000. Nearly up to the next level, even. Crazy. And now I can kill the deathbirds. Which is also nice. Okay. First order of business is going to be doing just this, killing the deathbirds. The death crows. I think I would like to go up to maybe minimum 209, but I feel like I'm maybe gonna go up to 210. Today. Oh shit. Because that puts me in a lovely little spot. With what should hopefully be a bunch of gear games with rare loot 50%. To be able to get the rest of those levels tomorrow fairly easily, get myself up to and do the quest tomorrow. And then I'm in just such a wonderful little cycle, as Raka said, of being able to just keep snowballing and doing stuff with the AFKs as long as I get the good amount of levels each week in combat. It'll be good. I'm thinking 210 here. Is probably specifically what I'm gonna go for. So 3 full combat levels and a tiny little bit of one, the smidgiest of smidgens. Should be good. I would love to get a piece of gear relatively quickly and some levels that make it so that I don't fucking die to these death throws without potion intervention as well. Hello, Oni. How are you? It's warm, you hate it, you need help. Fair. I fucking love that this place has air conditioning so much. It's so good. It's actually been a nice temperature here today. Outside, even, because it's been like quite windy. And that's kept the like, you know, general air temperature down. It's been very enjoyable. I'm living in brick ovens, yeah. Good old UK houses. Somehow managed to be freezing cold and boiling hot at the same time. They can't hold any temperature in, but also they hold all of the temperature in amazingly. That could have just been our crazy Silicon Man house, though. Yeah, 210 combat. And then I think put the rest of it into carp if I have any extra time. That seems like a good idea to me. And tomorrow I need to get 3 combat levels, one of which I'll probably get from AFK. So I'd only need 2. And then I can start working towards this. That carpentry level. That all-important carpentry level. It'll be great. If it wasn't for the fact that I would have to put 17 million key points into it, I would be very tempted to AFK Botanist instead of combat right now. Because I kind of want to try and use these combat levels to get these upgrades. I could maybe AFK Forager today to tomorrow instead of doing combat, and then that would probably get me that Forager level. And it doesn't yoink too much of the too much of the time. It'd only be like 1 day's worth. Gives me more time to get value out of the birds. Seems like a good idea, maybe. And then hopefully AFKing over the period of time, combined with quest experiences, gets me to the Goblin Chiefs with their 50%. You have a ceiling fan, it gets to the point of blowing hot air around. Sounds about right, yeah. You can potentially change the direction. You can push air down or pull air up, depending on if you want to make it warmer or cooler. I didn't, at least. I know that these flying ones, there's a new character there, have the ability to potentially hit me at 150-ish. That's kind of the threshold that I'm trying to be aware of here in terms of health. Used to have one of those. Never used the reverse because you hate warm. Very fair. I feel ya. Read the description on the shelf. That's very specific. Very specific. Definitely not. Definitely not. Assuming it's the horn one. Oh, they're called bowl. Not suitable for eating porridge from. Very good. No, I haven't actually picked one of those up yet, so... AFKing a skill? Why does that irk you? It feels like you aren't earning it. Potentially. Because it irks me for that reason. I don't, like, deserve the level, because I didn't do anything for it, like I didn't earn it. But I understand this game is very much built around the idea that you use it like that, so... And it's nowhere near as efficient as to compared to playing yourself, but... I don't really love the idea of it in general. In a lot of things. I like the idea that I'm the one playing the game. Not that the game is playing itself while I'm not. While I'm away from it. 161 they can hit me for. Play a game by not playing the game, yeah, exactly. It feels very much like that. It also, at least for me, turns it into like a chore, which I don't like. You've got to log into it every day to make sure that you're constantly getting your like useful AFK experience. Otherwise, it's a waste, you know. Probably not how it's intended, but it's how it always feels to me when there's stuff like that. Then it feels icky. If your AFK is just Steam works in the world. I just don't even bother doing it anymore. Shit takes way too long for the, like, relatively not useful stuff you get from it. Other than maybe ancient potions. But the Steamworks tickets are actually nice as well. They're good for the I like the waist piece. It has like Heartbreaker 2 or something. Melding. There you got all your demons. Yeah, fair. I think it's a like cute little idea. It's a funny little thing they put in the game, but simultaneously I don't understand why it's there. It doesn't really feel like it adds anything. Other than kind of like an irritant. But hey, there's always something like that in most Sonic games, right? The fishing in for you. With it being the only way you can get plenty of stuff. Free U has the expeditions in Voga with like only being able to get specific stuff, which is irritating. That plays out. It's not just how it's just random. Yeah, exactly. There's no like correct way. So you might as well just hold spacebar down. Didn't know the spacebar thing was until a year later. Oh no. I remember having like a little sticky note, a pad of sticky notes that was like maybe like that big on my desk, so it was pretty decently heavy, you know? And I think at one point I saved up to, I don't know, 200,000 fuel or something for it. And I just put that down on my spacebar and went and did lunch. French fries? Oh yeah, dude. I've had so much rice recently and it's been amazing. Oh. It's been fantastic. Great on Xbox. The controller was perfectly designed to sit upside down and hold both triggers in. Nice. I never really understood why they added like a ×10 mode instead of just adding a consume all fuel and auto give me stuff mode. Because it's still, like, the idea of this is you want me to just sit here and stare at this and do nothing this entire time. While this is happening, you want me to just, like, sit still, huh? Why not just allow me to click a button and be done? I've never done the Bowling and Wilds. I didn't even know it existed until actually, did it even exist? It didn't until the title updates, right? Because the game was just straight up unfinished with no multiplayer hub. And that's in the hub, if I remember. See, I never messed with it. I like the diva in the hub. You kind of liked not having a hub for a minute? I wouldn't have had an issue with there being no hub if it wasn't for the fact that, if I remember correctly, they very clearly allude to there being one in the story. And if it wasn't for the fact that the multiplayer in that game is fucking dog shit. Oh my god, it's so bad. Was it like traditional hubs, but they were hubs? They function like hubs? You mean like each individual village as such? Whatever you want to call them, the camps, I guess? The main camps? I think the issue where it kind of like doesn't really work in regards to that is when you want to go to a different locale, right? It gets really awkward. All of a sudden. Which is why I think it's nice to have a singular central one. It's definitely nice for the sake of like when you're playing through the story and stuff. And there's other people running around in the hubs and whatnot, and it feels like stuff's actually going on. Although hilariously, the introduction of the player character being a singular person rather than a fleet makes it really weird. Why there's so many other hunters running around in that game, but... there is other support hunters around. So it does still work. Did your first Kieran since 2019? 4 carved Kieran weirds you out, it's not okay. I was gonna say, at least it's not fucking 2 carved Kieran. That shit was terrible. That's way worse than a 4 carve. Dragged by slow connection. Sometimes took others a bit to appear. It was a pain in the ass. At least I felt like it was. Trying to make any sort of functioning, working ability to get into a squad and stuff together in that game was really irritating early on. I don't know if it's any better now, but... it was a nightmare. I don't know why they made it so, like, different to a system that they already had that just worked and was fine. But hey. People do love doing that. And you could have got used to it. Yeah, I would have got used to it if I'd played it enough, but it was like unnecessarily clunky, I feel. one of those things that occasionally tickles my brain. Of just being like, I wonder if this was some kind of like weird attempt test setup at making a more MMOE type system. Since Monster Hunter has been like gradually getting more and more MMO elements in it in general since World. Could have been worse. Could have had Hunter Connect again. You mean the one on the 3DS? They like their overwhelming menus, exactly, right? I fucking love it. The one in Rise? I do not remember the one in Rise, to be honest. Oh, that was basically like the quick quest system, right? It was, where you could do SOS flyers, but people could essentially just quick hunt whatever monster they wanted to that anyone had done anything on. So everyone just did like one fight and then dropped out the lobby to go do one fight again. Any decent drops is just this so far of 3-star legs. Which is pretty good, but that's it. Just the 3-star legs. Or the 3-star 206 legs. Don't know how it was meant to work. You could join a connect and nothing happens. Oh, that one! Yeah, I don't know how that worked either. Unfortunate? Yeah, it is a little bit, actually. And then, of course, I get a fucking useless fucking piece of armor. 1,000 of connect invites because it says auto show. Couldn't you set that to just auto reject as well? Well. I never played a terribly large amount online. New Wraith, you would go hard, it would, yeah. Which no one did. Rise was also very unfinished on release. Sadly. This guy is just straight raw dogging him with his hammer. Which I guess is fair, because they're taking like no fucking damage. Yeah, new rapier would be really good. Ranged weapon would be nice as well. Good ranged weapon. Would do a lot for doing some solid damage to the point where I could get the kills without healing. Just gonna get more and more fucking maces instead. I'm so upset that that was the wrong fucking armor set. Ugh. I hope that for the next game, they just make an online system that just is like fucking simple. Stop pissing around with making it needlessly complicated and just make a system that just works, that's simple. Instead of trying to like reinvent the wheel every single goddamn game, right? If it's for the next one, will be a portable game, right? So just have it be the 4-man lobbies, like, done. And then the next mainline game, just make it be like Worlds. Done. Worlds lobbies just work, they're fine. They're okay. You have the option to set them to private. You don't have to have people in you don't want and stuff. Wants to have Switch tunes, probably where it's gonna be. Is probably where it's gonna be. I wonder if they're gonna do what they did with Rise and slowly cross-release it to all of the other fucking platforms. Or if they're going to release it to more stuff at once. I do feel like Nintendo actually understand that Monster Hunter is a system seller for a lot of people. So I can see them being like paying them the chunky cash to have it be one console for just a year again or something. Definitely a choice made by Nintendo, yeah. I mean, to a degree, Capcom also needs to agree, right? Unless Nintendo's standpoint is we won't put it on, which I doubt it was. That would be psychotic of them. Big enough? Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I feel like they're smart enough to understand that, though, and they'll just try and do it again, right? And 1 year isn't the end of the world. The big thing there will be how the fuck will it end up working if there's crossplay. Because that would mess with the experience of new people so much. If it's delayed for a year on consoles, or other than Switch 2. And then people who aren't Switch 2 get it, and there's already a bunch of people running around in max fucking gear, just like ruining hunts, like killing everything instantly. They wouldn't have done well. It definitely wouldn't have done as good as it did on the Switch. I still think it would have done decently, to be honest. Especially in Japan, where they have a larger preference towards portable consoles, right? cross-platform, yeah. Because I think it's more than just a problem of possibility now. It's a problem of like that can actually just ruin play experience. If the game is brand new and available to you, and you haven't played at all until this point, and you've managed to avoid spoilers and all that stuff, it functionally stops you going online. Because you can't risk the fact that someone's on Switch 2 is playing it. Wouldn't be new. I mean, if you only have, say, a PlayStation, then it's new to you, right? You don't own a Switch 2 and it releases a year later, it's new to you, even if the game itself isn't new. Whole scenario scheme isn't new. It's new for Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter hasn't dealt with it before, right? I don't know if Capcom's had to deal with it necessarily either. I wouldn't know, Street Fighter wise. My knowledge does not extend to that area whatsoever. How would they handle it? If there's like a degree of story progression that happens in them. Because in Monster Hunter, if you want to play online and you still want to fight the monsters and someone's in higher rank gear, they can very easily like ruin your hunt by just fucking killing the monster like immediately, right? Even difference between end low rank and end high rank is humongously different. Not that much better, but technically it's better. Whee. Not been very lucky here. Camera tilt pisses me off, man. Oh, Raka. You do not have a lot of luck with them, eh? That is true. Another useless piece of armor. It's not the same as cross save, yeah. That makes it very different, right? I also don't necessarily know. I mean, Helldivers, I think it doesn't matter, right? It's a very different scenario. If a higher level Helldiver jumps into your quest, they're definitely going to be more capable at being able to, like, solo all of it and stuff. But I feel like it's not the same degree as in a hunt. In Monster Hunter, where you become fucking irrelevant, right? Is the difference. If you're a level 1 Helldiver and a level 150 joins you, you can still do stuff around the map and be useful. If you're just killed Quamatrice and someone joins in the fucking... I don't know what the OP gear is, it's Gore Magala, right? Full Gore Magala setup, like, you might as well not be there, functionally. You are fully and wholeheartedly irrelevant. Would explain a lot. Would it? For me, it raises more questions. I don't really know how Warframe works well enough to know if there would be a better crossover there. In terms of people being able to get quests as such messed with. I truly don't know how that game works at all. Other than the fact that it just seems grindy as all fucking hell. It's the only thing I know. They nuke the world? I mean, that doesn't make any necessary relevance in terms of how the quests and gameplay works, right? You'd like to think Nintendo will feel comfortable without the need of early access. I don't know if Nintendo cares about the comfortability. I think they just want to hoard the profit, right? Clear the room the moment there's stuff in it. Yeah, see, that would be destructive to gameplay. For someone who's a lower level. If someone who's higher level just like insta blows everything up, that would be a problem. You're betting it was a factor for Rise? Based on the way that Nintendo comports themselves at this point in time, I don't know if there is any other factors for Nintendo other than money. Normally I would like to give some benefit of the doubt and stuff, but truly I don't know if they give a shit about anything else anymore. From a publisher perspective. You're making up lawsuits after a game is released to try and squash it because it's some valid competition, right? Like, beyond the point where they give a shit. Warframe doesn't have gameplay, it's a fashion sim. Oh. Wouldn't the gameplay be like parading then? They owned the concept of balls, yep. So silly. They do parade. Warframe is full of the Lattice gang. I mean, isn't like everything, because it's just like normal at this point. Look it out. You wish. I feel like you could say that about like any game. I'm sure there's some more than others, but surely there's got to be like just they're just people, right? So they're gonna be everywhere. That'd be how it just works. Unless you're more about specifically having in-game parades. Jagex cancelled an already completed Pride event because it was too political. Wild. It's just wasteful. Jagex was the company you looked at, like people look at Nintendo. You never trusted them? I don't know shit about Jagex, to be honest. PKs, we pay, we gain. I don't understand what that is. Because I don't know what we pay, we PK is. Like maybe for me, Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rise was the moment where my degree of having any trust towards any company in any way fucking obliterated. This economy, exactly. A protest slogan for people unhappy with changes to the wilderness. I know what PK means, yeah. That's just an MMO thing in general. We pay, we say is a hilarious different period of time though. Just in existence. There's a PK, boo, good times. Straight over my head. Hello Zero, welcome. How are you? The vibe, some people still have that mentality in the street. Definitely, yeah. Definitely. Sadly, a lot of the time reinforced by streamers who are too small and thus afraid to get rid of bad people because it would kill their income. It does tend to be the, typically, not always, obviously, but it does tend to be the assholes who have tons of money. Oh no! He died! I'm glad I have notable exceptions. Mahogany tree enhancements. I'm gonna end up with a fucking full set of these bloody things at this point. It was PK in 2007, it became We Say in future ones. Okay. I love that people have such fervent feeling and desire towards a specific thing, like a game, that you're able to have protests about it. It's fascinating. Fascinating. Escape Green is hilarious, yeah. No, there's a difference, Sony. They whine every day. Same thing. It's the, it's the constructiveness, I guess, that's different, right? Behind a singular purpose to be like very loud and clear, this is not okay, as opposed to just a bunch of people constantly complaining about different things, disparately unrelated to each other, just because personally it's what they don't like. Not with any like suggestions on how to fix it or saying that it should be reverted or anything, just complaining that they don't like it. It's definitely dependent on like what it is, for sure. I hope we get to the point at some point relatively soonish, we won't, where human beings understand that companies will do like literally anything for money. So if they just start doing like heinous shit and everyone just stops giving them money, they'll stop doing heinous shit, or at least start hiding it better very quickly. Any reason they don't have us working 40-hour shifts because it's illegal? Yep. And they try and get those laws changed as much as they can anyway, right? Companies fight hard to try and get that shit changed. Boycotting never works. It never works because no one ever does it. If you actually do it, it does. But people like to talk a big game and then not actually do anything, right? Exactly, in Raka's example, yeah. The problem with boycotting something as well is that almost always there is never a clear delineation to mark the line of when it stops. I feel. So people are like, I did it for a day, that's good enough. I love that so much. I'd never heard of that until Raka mentioned it. Was it last year or the year before, Raka? And then saw the screenshot and it made me crack the fuck up. I love that. So good. The reason they don't do anything is because it's illegal. They try to find every loophole or ignore it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anyways, welcome. How's your reading been going? The fuck, why can't we go, Cot? The thing that I can't remember the name of right now. There's a word for it that's like, I don't know. You know what I mean. I just don't know what the word is. It's gone. Deleted. Word for what? The root cause of men being the problem of everything? Worse now? I don't know if it's worse now, it's just more obvious now, right? That's it! Yes. That is the word I was looking for. The patriarchy. For some reason, I can never remember patriarchy, but despite the fact that it's just put, like, why is it P anyway? Because paternal is just parent, right? Maternal is paternal specifically father? Huh? Look at that. Oh, there you go, then, never mind. Been using that wrong like my entire life. No one's ever corrected me. Fuckers. I always remember matriarchy anyway. Specifically because of Crusader Kings 2, but that's not important. I don't remember what it was even for at this point. It might have been Monster Hunter, it might have been something else. I remember someone put something, I think you alerted me to it even, Oni, on Twitter, about like anyone of any size to message this person if they were interested in something. Game-wise. And I got like hard fucking ignored. It was at least something I was interested in, so I assume it was Monster Hunter or Monster Hunter related. Because I hadn't lost my desire for the franchise at that point. in time. This is the worst. Social media is in general, but yes, Twitter is particularly bad. Things tend to get worse when they get bought by Nazis. Hello, Hewitt House. How you doing? Last time you opened it, your first few posts you saw was made by an account named Why Women Deserve Less. Or Lay. It's why they deserve lameness. A post for content creators to DM them, you can actually get tens of thousands, yeah. It's one of those things that just like inherently irritates me. You know you're gonna get messages from everyone. When you put something like that, and I understand the impossibility of replying to all of them, but at least set up some sort of automated thing at some point to be like, the rest of them who I have not responded to, sorry, no. It's just one of those things that like irks me. It probably shouldn't, but it just strikes me as rude. When someone's like, hey, send me a message for a thing. And you know they're going to get lots of them, but then you just don't receive a response, right? It's like job interviews. When you're applying for jobs, they just don't respond. And it's like, well, you know what? Fuck you. How about you fuck yourself? Honestly, would be happier receiving an email back that says no, fuck off, than receiving nothing. Hilariously, I think I could honestly get to the level and get it done today, but I'm gonna go do carpenter. Is what I'm gonna do. It's carpent time. Time to dive back into the nuclear option. Have fun. Have fun. Am I gonna stop after 3 levels of carpentry? Why would I stop after 3 levels? Understanding and expectations. Yeah. I have more to do later and don't run out of non-combat. I'm kind of tempted to be like, if I run out, I run out. So fucking be it. To be honest. I think I actually would prefer to do the swave here. It's a little bit less experience, but it's more knowledge. Frostfang is anti-lance. Every attack's AoE. You can't block, that sticks you to the ground. Evade extender. And just hop instead of trying to block. It's annoying for sure. I don't think Frostfang's a good monster, but Evade window doesn't help with the floor thing because it lasts too long, right? I think. Foothold before it was added, yeah. Floor ice outlasts any iframes. That is what I thought. I think what I'm gonna do is get all of my non-combats doing a decent amount of combat every day anyway, but get all of my non-combats to the levels where they need to be, and then I will level my combat to at least 245. And hopefully get some good gear from that quest. And then I will try the remaining things and see how it goes. Win or lose, I shall see. Peter Frostfang is learning it. I've done in the V. You can stand in the center. Yeah. Yeah, you can avoid it for sure. But World definitely did add some shit that was annoying for the block players in Iceborne. Because I think well, Kulve already had it in high rank, but her downwards thing ignores it. They gave that to Tio in master rank, which ignores the ability to block, if I remember correctly. Velkhana can put ice on the floor that staggers you around. Frostfang has ice on the floor that staggers you. They added quite a lot of stuff, actually, that just completely gets around blocking. Which makes sense. Like, it's a bit silly if you can just hold block and be functionally invulnerable. Hello, Skullbot. Is this game like RuneScape or what? In a very basic level, yes. Made by the same people. I would say it is much higher focus on the more repetitive parts of it and using it to be like calming in a way. rather than on the higher intensity parts. I think it's the type of game that has a lot of math for the people who want math, if you want it to, or it's just there to be incredibly chill, slow pace, like constant progression, basically. There will be, but there isn't now, so at least for the moment it's not true. Yeah, probably wouldn't be something for you unless you just wanted to chill out, Odie. Can actually have my screen fully open for once, so don't need the things on the side. You'd rather play Cookie Clicker? You know Cookie Clicker has a lot of math in it as well, for people who want it to. You just click, no math? I mean, there's math for people who want there to be math. The only math is +1? That's not true. You got like +5s and +10s and... it goes further than that, I'm pretty sure. You can just click here too, exactly. You don't have to do math to play it. I usually abort an attempt to do math because I can't be asked to actually do any. Your head, it's +1 click. Can't you upgrade the click so it's more than +1? That click could do 10,000 and still 1 click, so +1 click. This isn't unwanting to do math, this is just ignorant of numbers. That's what that is. Willful ignorance. How's RuneScape 4? It's chill. It's very chill. One plus one is a window. I've heard that so many times, and it's wrong. It's a shit window. Noticed me playing this a lot. Did I get massive updates or something? Raka redeemed it for me to play it, and my goal is to complete all of the free-to-play quests. It was redeemed in September. Oh, bollocks. That's why I've been playing it. Same as why I play, like, basically anything that I play at this point. Functionally, like, no free will left in terms of what gets streamed. That's why I've been playing Quasimodo. That's why I'm playing World, although that's not from September, that's from March, like 4 years ago. Anything like RuneScape, all free-to-play is a day goal to you? You cannot do them all here in a day. That is not doable. Doing RuneScape free to play in the day is crazy too. Can you do waterfall quests free to play? Because if you can, that basically like deletes any requirement to do anything else, right? You can't? Okay. I mean, don't people do fire cape in like 8 hours or something? In that game? People do silly shit in that game. You remember doing all the free-to-play quests before going members? Fun. I didn't. I could not stomach the idea of playing that game without having run fucking recharge. When it was more egregious than it is now, thankfully. They fucking changed it. Like 12.5-minute run recharge or whatever it was, instead of like 4 minutes at max level. Or actually it might have been like 2.5, I don't remember. If you have the graceful stuff on. You was 11? Yeah. I didn't play it when I was younger, so. It was very different. Your grandparents paid for it? Aww. Kind grandparents. I do still think these are the better ones to do. Just because of how much more knowledge is. What are these? 161? So these, the teaks will be a good upgrade as well. That's nice. You notice it's very gritty as the way to remove the grid, or is that the game? That's the game, I think. I don't believe there is a way to change that. In here, I think it's more exemplified because it's tiles and like wood tiles, but you discovered WoW at 21, and then it was all over for you. I'm so glad that despite playing WoW when I was younger-ish, I still bounced off of it and was like, this just isn't fun. You tried private servers and it's boring to you. How's it even popular? I think it's like a lot of it is just the significantly a large portion of it, in my mind, is the social aspect. Like, if you don't get involved in that to any degree, the game just is not a game. And a lot of the people, I feel like, anyway, at this point, I don't know, numbers-wise, I feel like a lot of the people who are playing it at this point kind of fall into friends of people who have played it, or people who are desperately attempting to regain some nostalgic fun from their youth. And, like, nothing else. There might be new players, but I don't know if there is anymore, really. Social was a big part for you in RuneScape. RuneScape taught you how to type pass, yeah. And I don't know, Oni would know better than me, but I think at this point in the game's lifespan, there isn't really probably the player base in a lot of areas to be able to get that same, like, social aspect and feeling that there was. I imagine, like, at the launch of Classic, probably. And when the game was live and new expansions came out and stuff. And still do, I suppose, but that's irrelevant to newer players, right? Because they don't get to see any of that. And there's not the influx of newer players anymore. It's just a bunch of people who are on their 17,000th character who know the exact, like, official ultimate route to go to get to the thing that they actually want to do at the end of the game. Which is how RuneScape is now as well. Compared to how it was, I'm sure. That's pretty much it. I feel like MMOs only really exist in the state at which they are truly appealing. If you are very social, for one, or someone who is normally unable to socialize but can socialize in-game, and that's more appealing to them. For younger people. Especially. Who are in, like, school or college or uni or something, right? Or it's people who just have, like, a lot of time and just want something to do. That they can spend a lot of time in and feel like growth and progress. Did not get the appeal of WoW as a kid. I didn't. I still don't, really, to be honest. I understand what makes it appealing. But for me, the stuff that, like, goes on during the time in which you are playing the game is incredibly gory. When your guildmates are still friends, you do yearly meetups, social change for you? Yeah, exactly. Being part of the group to progress through raids, etc. was the most fun for you. Which is how it is for a lot of people. Zero desire to play it even now. It's boring as fuck, the raids. Can't explain it. I get you. It's one of those things that I struggle with a lot, where I feel like I missed out on these experiences that a lot of people have had, like Oni, like Raka, where they have these great times and all these fun things happen in MMOs and they have like such good memories of it and stuff. And I can just never... I feel like I missed the window for it. It doesn't really exist in the same way anymore. That it feels like it's kind of gone to a degree. And also, I just don't talk to people when I when I play games. I just do not talk to people at all. I've had my RuneScape character has, I don't know how many hours at this point. I think maybe like 400-ish or something. I've maybe had 15 conversations. And most of them lasted for maybe like 2 minutes. And it was just answering a question or something. Boil down to what you're looking for, exactly. WoW players shitting on their own game doesn't help. Saying it's exactly what you don't want it to be, yeah. The most interesting thing I've heard about WoW in recent memory is that there is a place you can go and virtually whore yourself out to be able to pay to play the game. Which is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to me. What? There's a place on some server somewhere. There's like a tavern. And a bunch of people go there in scantily clad clothes for their character. And then they virtually prostitute themselves. And essentially write pornos for people. And then they get paid in lots of in-game money. And then in WoW, you can apparently turn your in-game money into, like, Blizzard money. Which you can use to pay for your WoW subscription. So you can virtually prostitute yourself to pay for your own subscription. Which is fascinating. Fascinating. Exists in RuneScape. Yeah, because of bonds. I suppose it would. You come down on our right, clear screenshot, yeah. It's interesting. I think it's funny to say as someone who like literally is streaming and talking to a bunch of people like actively right now, right? I am way too introverted to play MMOs. I do feel like I've missed out when I see the screenshots like that, and I'm sure that brings back like great memories for you and stuff, right? Only talking about raids they've done, people's stories and whatnot. The fucking Leroy Jenkins thing is hilarious, right? Just some dude getting pissed off that they took too long. Probably fucked their entire raid over that they'd been planning for God knows how many hours, but... It's just, I can't do it. I got a friend who, I don't know how they do it. They just talk to people. And at this point, I just say they start adopting them. Whatever game they play that has any sort of multiplayer, fucking anywhere, they just make like tons of friends in. And just like adopt people. And it's just like, yeah, there's just a random person joining. This is just someone I met the other day. This is just another random person I met the other day. And it's like, how do you do this? Get the itch to go to WoW because it's something you're familiar with. You enjoy the content. Yeah. It's interesting. There's a game you'd enjoy underneath what's most visible, yeah. The thing I enjoy about RuneScape specifically is I feel like you can do so much of it solo. And a lot of the social bits of it are kind of just there if you want to talk to people while you're doing the things that you're doing. More so than in games like WoW and whatnot. It feels like the social aspect is mandatory to play the game. To be able to do like raids and whatnot, right? I don't know if you can do them solo. It's always been my impression that they're just literally impossible. Still remember the names of some of the people in that screenshot? That's crazy, Raka. Hard to sell the game. Speak from 14 years of play. It's not what it used to be. There's a lot of redeeming stuff, yeah. The only parts that are not solo are current dungeons and raids, not old ones. The combat in WoW genuinely is like the most, genuinely one of the most boring things I think I've said though. Is the old content like useful though? Because this is my experience when I've looked into MMOs and stuff, is that some of the older stuff becomes doable, but becomes completely fucking irrelevant functionally. True RuneScape as well. The amount of times people have been like, oh yeah, there's no point getting that. I'm like, fuck off, I don't give a shit. Yeah, see, that's just like not as fun to me. When the reason to do it becomes you can do it, but what's the point? It's not as enjoyable, right? Rather than a fun thing that you get useful stuff from, it turns into a chore to complete quests. Even more boring now, you can macro your abilities to just one key. At least you don't get carpal tunnel. Your entire fucking keyboard set up to spam 17 different abilities in a row. Oh god. The stupid thing that happened with the stupid people Does not explain anything. The OnlyFans thing that everyone in the world knows about at this point. And looking at the hotkeys that all of those people had made me, like, squirm. It just fucking rose at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully Andrew succeeds in his vision for this game where old content doesn't get killed by new content. Yeah. Hotkeys for what? Abilities. I don't know if they're just always on the bottom of the screen, they might be. To watch world first players? The hell is that? What the hell is that? The first people to beat stuff? Oh, that's interesting though. To some degree. I would never watch stuff like that live. I don't really watch anything live, to be fair. Ow. I can't, I can't really consume the content it is that I put out, which is funny. I watched the Supremacy TO live. I did. That was fun. There was definitely a an optimal scenario that occurred in that situation, though. I was in the peak of my lust for Frontier. It was you that was streaming, and you never do, so it was just fun to pop in anyway, because it's interesting. I couldn't sleep. I watched you get 500 Carpenter live as well. You, it's interesting because it's watching 20 people collaborating, working together. Some of the strats are impressive. Yeah. I like to get a roundup sort of thing, you know? Where someone's explaining the like logic that they're coming up with and what it is that they're talking about and all that stuff, even if it's just something I've never played before. I find that very interesting. I just can't watch things live a lot of the time. There is a few notable exceptions. Brackers. TO. The carpentry thing, because it was like a fun special event, basically. The few of your speedruns I watched, actually, Ernie. Blast from the past. Carpenter Workshop overflowed. It did, yeah. It did. Wait, your speedruns? What did you do? It's one of the few things I've like watched live. At least in more modern years. Watching you get annoyed at the Joy-Con. Many people's too many people. That's too much. 10 people's too many people. That inconsistently really pisses me off as well. 10 to 30, sometimes 10, sometimes 25, sometimes 40, sometimes 20. That inconsistently annoys the shit out of me. Inconsistency. Got annoyed by a lot of things, that's true. Speedrunning does that though, right? It's distilled frustration. Rift had slivers which were 10 and raids which were 20. And the separate things, good. To you, it's 20 friends playing together. I don't know if I've had 20 friends in my life. Quite frankly. Talk about at one fucking time. It's a Taskmaster and 19 friends. Yeah, typically I end up in that scenario, I would be the Taskmaster. Just because I get pissed off that no one else is fucking doing it. This is why I am a forever DM. To be your new raid leader. Yeah, get the person with 0 years of experience. 0 seconds of experience. Well, that's not true. It might as well be though, I don't really remember anything well. It won't go down well? No. People don't listen to me anyway, so... It especially would not go down well. Such a tank gameplay on the tank character. People keep building glass cannon one shot. Yeah, why would you want stuff that's useful for the thing that they are? That would be crazy. Do you remember you basically got to never be bothered by your guild's rogue class leader? In what sense do you mean? That they were just like, you know what you did. You've been in a guild where GM made it feels like you were in Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great time, I'm not gonna lie. You didn't stay long? Weird. Rift, you were the bard? The raid leader was like, you know more than me, keep it up. Fair. Am I winning? Well, there's basically no losing here, so yeah. Functionally, since I'm doing non-combat. How many botanist levels so far today? Just one, I think. Yeah, just one. 1.5. You might start playing tomorrow. You or me? Because I'm not gonna. You, it seems plausible. That will not happen with me. Both? No. You know what? I will preemptively put WoW on the bad games list even. With Kate, Plato. I think Kate's lost to RimWorld at this point. Last I knew. They were doing that thing where people install too many mods and then spend more time trying to fix their mod compatibility problems than playing the game, probably. You shouldn't be listening out for RimWorld, you should be playing Beavers. You can do both? No. Only Beaver. If anything, you should be listening for Banished, because that's close enough. Please don't put it that way. It's horrific. That is horrific. Bro's point and click and he isn't even doing anything? What do you mean? I'm relaxing. That's what I'm doing. I'm just chilling. I'm having a grand old time. Relaxing is a waste of time. Wow, I didn't realize you'd grown to be a man so quick, Mace. Jesus. Congrats. WoW is sitting at 9 million players as of last year. Active or just existing? Active? That is insane. Absolutely absurd. You're really clever for that. I don't know if you should. It is a good combo, I have to say, but also it's terrific, so bad. Used to both 12 million when Lich of the King came out? Lich of the King? Is that what that's called? That's a fucking terrible name. If that's actually what that is. Oh, Wrath of the Lich King, okay. Honestly, wouldn't even surprise me if it was called Lich of the King. I don't know when that was, so that means nothing to me. You came home from Mum's and you depart for Mario Kart in 10 minutes. Busy day. It's a busy day, yeah. You've been busy a lot recently, Base. In 2018? Fair enough. Don't talk to me. Have you, or have you not been here? I mean, one assumes the other, in my mind. At least. You wasn't here because you was busy playing something with your friends? Yeah. So one is the other. You were busy playing something, so you weren't here. Even forgot the stream was in because of new times. Or didn't want any background noise. Fair. I am glad for you. I'm glad that the unhealthily large amount of time that you used to spend here would has waned. It's good. It's good. It's healthy. It's good. It's a good thing, Mace. No, that's a bad thing. You should be happy that it's slower, because it means you've been doing more stuff. You still wonder how I would be in WoW Classic? Annoyed? Bored? I think that's it. Annoyed and bored, probably. I get what you mean, but every time your brain goes, I'm so glad the probably top viewer is watching me less. I mean, it's not like the fucking career suicide hasn't been going on since 2022, 2023 anyway, so what difference does it fucking make since I started, yeah? True. True. You'd say that, but what am I playing now, you'd argue? I mean, what I'm playing now is a game in which I occasionally do something and I just spend most of my time talking to chat. Because it's very simple and I don't have to do anything, so I'm playing talk to chat. Which in of itself, fun. Career suicide is a big word. What career are you suiciding? Hey, when I was streaming World back in the day, base, I had 50 average. That is actually kind of to the point where if I just decided to kill myself and keep playing World for the rest of my life, I would have actually maybe gone somewhere. Human. He worked in insurance. I did work in insurance, that's true. And also, they wanted to train me for a job that would actually earn me kind of a lot of money, essentially. Well, train me. They wanted to make me train myself for a job that would potentially earn me a lot of money. The fucking wankers. Okay, I see how you would get bored. I was never particularly interested in playing any, like, fantasy races, really. Even when I play, like, D&D, basically the furthest I ever get is playing half-elf. I just never find it interesting. Because it's always just, like, the worst bits of people exemplified in an entire race. Dwarfs are just, like, racist autists. Gnomes are just people on drugs. Night elves are probably just racist rich people, I don't know. Orcs are people on drugs, but they're angry. Undead are just angry in general, I guess. And for some reason they decide they want to make everyone else dead because they're dead, and it just makes no sense. Taurens are just fucking cows. I don't know what's going on there. Trolls are just dumb. Like... At least archetypically, that's what all of those things go into, right? So why not just be normal human and just be terrible in general at all of them? Instead of being exemplified in one particular spot of badness. Racist autists? Would you not say that dwarfs are basically just racist people who are autistically obsessed with blacksmithing and stone cutting, Mace? Are they racist? Dwarves are stereotypically incredibly racist, yes. Usually specifically towards elves and elves towards them, but also usually towards humans as well. If not just everything that's not a dwarf. Mage, paladin, priest, rogue, warlock, or warrior. I'm assuming mage is mana DPS, paladin is tank with maybe buffs, priest is a healer, rogue is squishy melee DPS. Warlock is mage but edgy. Warrior is some variation of melee fucking whatever. Depends if I would need to do something that heals, probably. Is typically what I like to do if I am going to play an MMO. I like to be a healer. But I don't like to cast debuffs. I just like to do healing. Just human, you guess? And this is why I don't play MMOs, only. Because everyone demands you play a specific way. I would be an off-tank, off-healer paladin. Can you self-identify as a dwarf and be rude to all humans? Does it stop you being rude to all humans anyway, Mace? Regardless of your identifying as a dwarf or not? No, but can you? I mean, you can technically do whatever you want. It's just not relevant. They grant more buffs and debuffs. I don't want to buff people either. I just want to heal people. I'm not relevant? Correct. You are entirely correct. Well done. You, sir, would be classified as a toxic player, and that proves that the community is bad. Thank you. Thus, I never want to play. People get shouted at when they don't throw out buffs? Well, fuck them. You have no idea what that means? Baldur's Gate 3 taught you Paladin equal good. A Tauren, Mace, is a cow. It's a cow person. So a Tauren Paladin is a cow person Paladin. Do they make milk? The immediate reaction to say depends how hard you suck is not very appropriate. Maybe? I don't know. I ain't played World of Warcraft, really, so I can't tell you. I just know that they're cow people. Does that mean that they're priests now too? No? So they're only allowed to be melee healers. Undead could always be priests, so any logic never existed. I mean, you could have an undead god, right? Palakau? Yeah. Something about salmons, except it's moose. Samoos. Don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere. Every time you taunted, you would moo. The way you do. In lore, undead suffer from light. Priests are powered by light. Maybe they're all just masochists, Sony. All of the undead priests are constantly suffering. They just get off on it. We all have to moo every once in a while. I don't know if we have to, but it is fun. whole lore of Blood Elf Paladins, the light simply does as it's told. That's amazing, Odie. That is like 100% the type of game that I would never want to play, though. Where that's the type of thing that you have, where you add something to prove that you did a thing, is just like fucking horrid. Otherwise, people shout at you for like not doing your buffs and stuff like that. I just don't want to be in that scenario. That's just a miserable situation to be in, right? That's not fun. Issues weren't an issue when you got into your last guild. They all became friends and respected each other. But how much shit did you have to wade through first? Let's do the same one of your skills in Rift. One mage was always accusing you of not using it on cooldown. I just wouldn't want to play with people like that. I think at this point in time, mate, you can cut that sentence a few words short. You don't know how I'm using so much mana. Spam. Funny guild to mingle with, it's one of the toughest bits. Like, social interaction is already work. Don't add work to my work, you know? You're gonna make me go out of my way to talk to people to be able to play the game, but then you're gonna make it horrible to actually find somebody that's not shit? This is just torture. It's just torture. It's a different time 14 years ago. So it's worse now? Is what you're saying? It's way worse. Your ride is not so fashionably late. That's annoying. You would say it is now than it was? On a personal level, it was different for you because of real life stuff? Yeah. And it's the thing, like I said earlier, the thing with MMOs is, especially when people are in situations where they can't, like, talk, perhaps, to people very well, or there's something going on or something, it offers a... I don't know, like, unparalleled reprieve, right? Because they're so big and they're fleshed out and they're their whole own worlds. And you're a different person there. There's a lot. I mean, I was playing fucking... whatever it was called. Europa Universalis. Online. At some point way back then, just because I was bored and stuff. Got adopted into the friend group that I have now. And then that friend group got trimmed by about half. Moved house. Was alone, had no friends, no outlet. Exactly right, it's... It works very well. Enjoy your karting, Mace. May your wins be many. And your blue shells be few. It feels bad to say that they're like... they prey on desperation as such. Like, that's not correct. MMOs, but I feel like they're a lot more enticing when people are in desperate circumstances, in a way. Which also makes a lot of sense that people get such a large attachment to them as well, right? Making you want a level botanist to listen to the Hope Forest music. It's the only one you got left here, right? How much have you even got left on it at this point? Can't be terribly too much. A decent chunk. It's one of the ones that you've got more left on. Closing on a 6k. So much. It's so crazy. I'm still blown away that I'm so high in some of these. I'm 3,000th in Botanist? Do people do not do Botanist, huh? People hate it. I can understand it. It's so slow. I hate camera as well. At least that one was for a more legitimate reason. I suppose, with it being Green Forager. The reason you praise WoW as much as you do, because how much it changed you, but you hate Activision. Actiblizz more than any other company, you can't fault the game, yeah. I think that feeling is a thing very specifically that a lot of people have with Monster Hunter. The people who played the older games, especially. Freedom Unite through for you. And that's why there's so much like vitriol with World onwards. Because it does feel like they've lost the core of what they were at this point. It doesn't mean they can't be fun in their own right, but from what they were to what they are now, it feels like that core is lost. It's gone. Same similar-ish idea, very complete world that you can sink a lot of time into, do very long grinds and whatnot. World was a decent game, a bad Monster Hunter. I could agree to that. I think World's a fantastic game. But it's definitely lost a lot of its identity is the word I'm looking for, as Monster Hunter at that point already. At least from what it used to be. Although that's now the new identity. As has been, like, consistently proven at this point, so. You're a simple being. If you enjoy the game, it's a good game. I wish I could be as simple. It would be a relief. Honestly. That's why you enjoy games everyone else dislikes. There's a lot of things that, I don't know, irritate me, get under my skin with stuff that I want to play. That stops me from being able to, like, enjoy it as a whole. It's sad. To be fair, that was not a small amount of things that pissed me off. That was like half the game. That was definitely not a small amount. If it was, I would have been more willing to play another one. I wouldn't have been so adamant about not playing another one. I do agree with you that to some degree that Ichiban has done genuinely like an irreparable amount of damage by himself, and it's because it's that game. But it would probably just be someone else instead of him. Never forgive. Who did it? Who though? I don't need forgiveness. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Yaku like in Mahjong? I don't even remember what that is. I don't remember. Already all of the like Mahjong logic has gone from my head. It's just been replaced by Altengel. Man, Altengel was good. Man, it was good. I look forward to it releasing. Is it because it's not out yet still, right? Is it out? Oh shit. It is still early access? Okay, cool, yeah. They just have Workshop 1.0. Which confused me for a moment. Yeah, when that comes out, I'm looking forward to playing it again. Yaku with the different scoring conditions, like all simples. Oh, okay. Xbox Showcase on 7th. When was the state of play, Oni? You mentioned that there was one the other day, but I don't remember when it was. The 2nd. Okay. So you only have to wait until the 7th to find out that it's in neither of them and that they'll be doing their own thing. If it hasn't been in one of the two. Which isn't that long to wait into summer. Instead of being like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one, right? You just wait for the specific one. Capcom's specific thing. What is Oni waiting for? I'm assuming, at the very least, Wilds DLC. But just anything that looks interesting. Stranger Than Heaven? The fuck is that? It's a good title. It wasn't because you feel like it'd be a Capcom showcase, but you would not be upset if it was in one of them. Since a Capcom showcase will probably happen later than those, right? Who's RGG? Red Giant? Red's Giant Games? I don't know. Oh, Yakuza, okay. You'd love to see an announcement for Stellar Blade for Xbox? The first one? Is it exclusive, is it? Well, they're less exclusive at this... Well, actually, they are, if anything, more exclusive to this point than they were before. Before, they were, like, exclusive in the opposite way. Now they're exclusive in the sense that one console is not involved. The game they currently have in development is titled Stranger Than Heaven. Fair enough. It's a good title. PS5, PC. I imagine that would be hard to, get out of Sony's hands, because Sony isn't very willing to do stuff like that, right? They tend to hold on to those quite tightly, I feel, when they can. An easy 1,000 gamer score. Wouldn't you still get the gamer score if you bought it on PC? Through the Xbox app? Because it's still your same account? PC is on Steam? Oh, is it not on? Oh, right, yeah, because if it was on the Microsoft Store, then it would be on Xbox as well, in all likelihood. Oh, Raka. Raka. Oh, God. Oof. I like Huggy so much better than Mr. Hugster. Stellar Blade 2 was announced to be self-published. Which is nice. Always like it when peeps get a successful game out and then they can make another one, but it's exclusively them doing it. Hopefully means that it will be better. Sometimes doesn't always necessarily mean that, but hopefully. I stand by that quote. I stand by that quote. It is hard to think. Total level 508. Hell yeah. I got a second botanist level, which is grand. Shift Lab is a few hundred employee company. It's a good chunk of people. For sure. Yeah, I remember you saying before. It's a significant difference though, right? When you're working on something for, I don't know what platforms that's on, but for some reason I assumed mobile. I don't know if it's exclusively mobile, but hey, I was right. It's very different when you're on something on mobile compared to doing stuff like consoles and whatnot. It's a big change, big change. So having the publisher to take care of all the publishy stuff can be probably quite helpful, and they might have resources that you can use and whatnot that you don't necessarily need the next time round. Are you doing alright, Raka? Well, you're losing it over there. The co-workers really got to you today, huh? You want to go home, Pat? It is a Friday, right? Better go home. You gotta go do some botanying. Botanisting? Botanying. Botany. So that you can listen to the music. You needed Sony to get it out there and do as well as it did, yeah. For sure. Fridays when everyone gets progressively more manic the closer it is to closing time, for sure, yeah. For sure. Probably tang fruit and leeks. Nice. Enjoy. Friday's the most EP day for you. Friday's just a normal work day for me. Nothing changes. Too tired after the stream on Saturdays to be like, woo, weekend. I'm just like, fuck. I used all of my swave. So, you. What I need now. And how would you monotonously play Helldivers all day? No, that will definitely not help. That is very true. Well, in terms of straight up experience, this gives me a little bit more, so the levels should be a wee bit quicker with this. Oh my god. 11, 9, 15. 15? Why can I never remember what this is? 12. and then like 55. I'm friggin' getting there, man. Oh. I am freaking getting there. It feels so good. I love the progression. You play other games sometimes, Tinyverse? I do not envy your this is the thing where I like envy people but don't envy people at the same time. When you have the one game that you're just like hyper focused into for so long and you seemingly enjoy it for a long time, is when it gets to that point where the enjoyment is kind of like waning, but you still just keep playing it. That's the bit where I'm like, I'm kind of glad I don't have this and I jump around a lot. Until something new takes over. And then you're playing that for 7,000 hours instead. Wilds expansion, nothing in between. There's no game you're looking out for? Oh. Just waiting for Wilds. Which is going to be a wee bit. Potentially. I mean, we both imagined it'd be next year, right? So. Or maybe right at the end of this year. Potentially one game, a rumored Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Be funny, eh? Because then they would have released that game thrice, technically. We're gonna start catching up to, what are they called? Final Fantasy. It's a remake, which is why you're excited for it. Yeah, when was Tears of the Kingdom? It's been a wee bit, right? Has it only been 2 years? Years. I say that felt way too short. They do need, well, quote unquote need, but they don't have a Zelda title on the Switch too, right? Which does feel very odd. Because that's typically one of the release ones, isn't it? For most of the consoles, they release it with a Zelda game. Just a level and a half more, and I can eat for all of my teak. That extra knowledge gain again. Wait, is fucking Poplar better than you? Hold on, what? 137, 64? No, okay. I thought it was for a second. Heat won't be much XP. I mean, none of these are really that much XP, to be honest. They're all kind of bad. 161, 159, 139, 137. At least all of these, like, Poplar, no, sorry, yeah, Swave onwards, all of them are below like the average line. It's good knowledge, at least. And it's better experience than what I'm getting right now. So that's the important thing. This is 15964. This is 161, which is a tiny little bit better, but 72 instead, so that's a lot better. In the past, it was often 2 years difference between the games. The last Zelda game was Echoes of Wisdom, which was 2024. I've not even fucking heard of that. What? Oh, it was the Chibi Zelda one, right. I vaguely recall seeing something about that. I'm just surprised they didn't have a Switch 2 Zelda release, that's all. But I suppose it's less significant than some other stuff was, because it's just like... What'd you call it? A sequel console, I guess. So it's not as important as such. Don't know how I want to explain that. Stuff like Teak and Juniper don't use the lathe and are measured per log. Stuff like you, Swave are measured per product, but each log makes 2 products. Right. Yeah, they've played themselves a bit there. Hello, Distant. How you doing? Welcome. Well. You're pretty good? Good. I'm doing alright. Had a good day today. So that's nice. I am looking forward to ending the stream in 15-ish minutes or so that I can go and have something to eat though, because I am fucking hungry. Low-key hyped for the Black Flag remake. Oh yeah, they're doing that. Well, my eating probably just like noodles or something, but I just want something that's food and is warm. That's all I care about. I forgot they were doing that. I hope they don't fuck it up for all the people that really enjoyed the original one. Having eggs and steak for breakfast? That's a fucking strong breakfast right there. Get you going good. Nice one. The AOT remake movie this year. Could hear us see about the new game next year. Maybe. It does feel like they have multiple teams at this point, right? Kind of working on things. Six-year difference between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. 2 HD masters in between. Which is really surprising to me, because I feel like those games are, at least surface level, very similar looking. Short and good life is the meta. I think it is a lot nicer to think about than a lot of the age-based conditions, which are kind of atrocious, right? That's for sure, at least. I think I own the, like... Was it 3DS? Remake, remaster, whatever the fuck it was of Ocarina of Time. But I've never played it. It's definitely built as an alternate and expanded. It uses the same world mechanics, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there was a mention of the fact somewhere that it was originally intended to be DLC stuff, right? You've never played one since the NES. I played Breath of the Wild. And then before that, I don't even know what the game was before that. I think I played Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. I've never really properly played any of them other than that. I think I've dabbled with some other ones, but I've never like finished them or anything. Working on a Saturday is rough, though, distant. I'm sorry, you have to do that. It's annoying. That is annoying. I said they're not continuing. Fair enough. They do like to go all over the place, don't they? So it does make sense. You tried Breath of the Wild, you got bored in a couple of hours, you do not understand the hype. The hype, I don't necessarily understand. I think it was enjoyable. I do think it was an enjoyable game. But the absolute, like, deranged levels of salivation that people went to regarding that, I think was mostly just new Zelda game and Zelda people. I don't know when the last Zelda game was before that, but I also feel like it might have been a while, potentially. At least in terms of like bigger mainline games, as it were. Oh, Skyward was the like bigger main one before that, which is 2011. And then Triforce Heroes is on the DS, which is 2015. I think a lot of it is just that it's been a very, very long time. So a lot of people lost their minds, right? You hear people saying it because it uses the same world. It's ignorance when you see the changes, the expansion it has. It would be very bulky DLCs to the point where it would make a difference. Depends how you identify mainline. I'm thinking like the more main household consoles. Is what I was thinking. The systems that you would call, you know, not think of as portable as such. And people did not treat the Switch like it was portable, despite the fact it was, so. Even then, like, Triforce Heroes was 2015, so it'd been a decent little bit of time, right? I can see what people mean with Tears of the Kingdom. I think if you look at it in a very, like, basic level, at least mine, I'm sure, and a good chunk of other people's reaction is immediately like, this seems a bit lazy, right? Because that is definitely my, like, main thought with it, is that it seems very lazy. Lazy because it uses the same map foundation. I mean, it would be my initial thought with anything. If they made Wilds and it was all the same maps as World, I would say that at least initially this seems lazy. You know? It doesn't mean it can't go beyond that point, but it's initially a very bad impression. Where it looks like, for the most part, they copy-pasted the map and made underground and floating islands. There's obviously a lot more intricacies and stuff than that, but that is the immediate hit, and it's very off-putting. it is kind of stuff that feels DLC in a way. A few more options on your Sheikah slate, right? To some degree, like mostly the same-ish map. Although there's a lot of changes, is my understanding. And then, the what you call it? Caves and floating islands. It's far more than just a few options. Fair enough. I don't know, I never really paid much attention to it, to be honest. My knowledge was that there was the thing that allowed you to stick things together that otherwise didn't exist, and then a thing that allowed you to, like, control stuff. And the applications you can use for those you can do a lot with, but it was only the two things. As such. There might be more than that, though. I had fun with the first game, but I definitely didn't want to play another one that was like it. And I was hardcore open world fatigued by it. And then when they announced the new one and it's like, it's kind of like the same-ish at a baseline, I was like, nope. It's precisely not what I want more of right now, regardless of the shit that gets added to it. I wish they kept Base World combat in Iceborne. Base World was the perfect monster otherwise. I agree at least with the first point. I still think Base World was a little bit too quick for me, in my opinion. But the combat in Base World was a lot better than the combat in Iceborne, for sure. I think retroactively, the more and more I think about it, I feel like almost every single change they made to the combat in Iceborne, I don't like. Which is a bit rough. Oh no, I'm AFKing Forager. This has quicker experience gain, so we'll go to that one. List all the changes you feel like it make you look like being a justice bootlegger. I mean, I was just like specifically if they added more than 2 options on the Sheikah slate as well. You don't have to list them all, just like there's like 5. Just to my knowledge, it was just the 2. That's all. Slower pace of combat like in Freedom? The slower pace like in that? Yeah, sure. The nightmarish horrors that come with that game? Absolutely not. $669. Nice. There we go. That is going to be me done for today, however. I will be back tomorrow with more of the same as it was today. You can see the times for when that will be on that linky link there, since they're a little bit different for tomorrow since it's the weekend. Discord's sake is Discordy stuff. And then YouTube is for streambots. Until I see you next time, enjoy yourselves. Have a good one.